I'm Claire and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me already, I'm an Irish YouTuber and I upload lots of different types of videos, a lot of which are vlogs, travel vlogs or weekly vlogs, and that is part of the reason that I'm making this video. Almost forgot to add a trigger warning here. This video is going to discuss loss, particularly in relation to loss of a pregnancy. So if that's not something that you feel you can watch right now, that's totally fine, and I'll see you at a later date. So I just have a few notes here to keep me on the right track, and hopefully I remember everything I want to say and I don't go off on a tangent, because this is obviously kind of an emotional subject. So today, the day that you're watching this video, is Wednesday the 25th of November. Today is the day that would have been our 12-week scan. Unfortunately, on the 14th of November, I miscarried. So I made it to about 10 weeks. I had mentioned a hospital stay that made a vlog late, but I hadn't said what it was because I wanted some time, first of all, to process it, but also we felt we wanted to talk to our parents and our siblings before telling the whole world. So, because I know people will ask, I'm sharing this with the internet for a couple of reasons. Partly because I think it's a really important conversation to have. For me, watching other YouTubers talk about this online, that has really helped me sort of come to terms with it and not feel like I'm alone in this experience. Partly because I've been making YouTube videos for the guts of 10 years at this point, and it basically feels like therapy. And partly because I'm about to start daily vlogging in December for Vlogmas, and I would like to be open and upfront with how I'm feeling and not have to pretend that I'm not sad. I had expected Christmas to be this like joyous occasion and like the savior of my 2020, where I could tell all my friends and family that we were having a baby and everybody could get really excited. Our last Christmases too. But unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. I'm not really ready to talk about the experience in detail or in any kind of depth. I'm not ready to tell the story. When I am, I will tell it on the Storytime podcast because I think that is a slightly more appropriate medium, but I will do that in my own time. I will say that it's really urgent that the government relax restrictions for expectant mothers. Going through what I went through alone, 1 a.m. in the morning in a hospital waiting room with a mask on and no husband allowed be with me, kind of sucked. The doctor did say it's nothing that the mother did or didn't do, because the doctor was explaining to me that when you lose a baby in the first trimester that early, it's simply because the egg and sperm did not fuse together correctly in order to sustain continued growth. So the fetus can only develop so far, and then when the body realizes that, a miscarriage happens. So please, if you could refrain from telling me what I should or shouldn't have done. I have a hospital of doctors with my best interest at heart, and I'm listening to their advice. For me, it's really hard to know how to feel about it. And I want to say that this is all my own experience and feelings and opinions, and I am not telling anyone else how they should or shouldn't feel about their own experience. For me, I was only pregnant for 10 weeks. I hadn't had particularly adverse pregnancy symptoms. The bump was tiny, the baby was tiny. And sometimes I wonder if being upset is making too big of a deal of it, or if making this video is making too big a deal of it, or telling people is making too big a deal of it. But when I think about it, it's not just the loss of the physical pregnancy, it's the loss of the future that you had expected because of that pregnancy. That's this sort of really disappointing and frustrating part of it all. Like, being pregnant at Christmas, I was really excited for. Giving birth in the summertime, which is the perfect time of year for a rugby player. Then there's other people announcing lockdown babies and you're like so disappointed because you didn't realise that you could have had your babies at the same time, you could have been on maternity leave together. I know that none of this is like hugely groundbreaking, but these are just the thoughts that I'm having and the emotions that I'm going through. I also needed to wait to make this video not only until we'd spoken to our parents and our siblings, but until I felt strong enough to make it. I know that there's going to be a lot of kind words on this video which will probably make me cry, but also as a woman who's been visible on the internet for a very long time and visibly pro-choice, I also know that there is going to be people who are going to use this as a stick to beat me with. There are going to be people who can't put humanity before their politics and are going to say things that are going to hurt about how I deserved it, etc., because I'm pro-choice. So I needed to take a little bit of time to get to a stage where I felt better equipped to handle both the kind and the unkind reactions that I anticipate. I don't want to be scared into silence by those negative reactions, and I'm hoping that the positive ones will drown them out. As I said, I'm not ready to share the full story, but I will tell you what I had, which was an incomplete miscarriage. What that means is that when they were examining me, the pregnancy was over, but the process was not finished. To date, the process is still ongoing. I'm still experiencing symptoms. I really hope they'll end soon. It's been a long 11 days. We've been coping with this like we kind of cope with everything in this house, with a lot of laughter. And I feel very lucky that I have someone that I can experience something like this with, and we can get through it together. I'm fine, Alex is fine, we're together, we're okay. I also tend to turn sometimes to dark humour, so one of the ways I've been dealing with it is making incredibly dark TikToks and saving them to my drafts. Some of them I might publish, but some of them will never see the light of day. Some of them are way too dark, and that's just the way I deal with stuff. So I understand that might be shocking information to a lot of people. I get an awful lot of questions on why we don't have kids and when we're going to have kids, and I've never really spoken about it. The long and short of it is that we waited until we were ready, and then it took us a lot longer than we expected. And now we find ourselves here. So while the question never bothered me in the past, I would really appreciate it maybe if going forward you didn't ask me that question anymore. It's safe to say that we're going to continue to try, and if you hear from me again on this topic, it will either be that we've reached a definitely safe time to tell people good news, or it will be me telling you more bad news. So for now, just assume that no news is good news. And yeah, please, if you could refrain from asking me that question, and maybe if you see other people asking me that question, you could direct them to this video in a nice way. But I right now, that question is not really something that I want to see a lot of, because I've explained it now. And I know that this might be shocking information, by the way, because we didn't tell anyone we were trying to get pregnant, because it's not really a done thing to tell people that. And then we didn't tell anyone we were pregnant because you're not supposed to until 12 weeks. Which in retrospect might have been a bit short-sighted, because now I'm dropping all of this information on you at once and it's a lot. So going forward, we are working away in the background. So if you could please refrain from asking us about it, and I will share with you as soon as I'm ready to share developments. I am worried this will happen again, but you have to just go again. That's how it works. If it gets to the point where it's a recurring thing, they'll do an investigation, but fingers crossed we can get there again and we can see it through to the end. Look, I'm not religious, but if you want to pray for me, go for it. I could do with all the luck and all the karma that I could get. So, lastly, I was obviously vlogging it. I have some footage of like me getting annoyed that I wasn't pregnant, and then finding out I was pregnant, and then telling Alex in a very weird way. So I'm going to upload that video later this week. It has some happy moments and some sad moments in it, and then we're all going to move on. And by that I mean I'm going to allow myself to feel what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it, but I'm also going to allow myself to be happy. This hasn't changed my fundamental view of myself. This hasn't changed my relationship with myself. It hasn't changed my relationship with Alex. So I'm going to laugh and I'm going to make stupid videos for the internet, and I'm going to continue with my life. So I hope that everybody can understand that. Basically what I'm concerned about is emotion police. Being like, wow, you're smiling again already. Yeah, because life goes on. So yeah, editing this is going to be a nightmare. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. If you watched this far, thank you for watching. Please God, do not subscribe to the channel because of this video. Please watch a few other videos and subscribe because of those videos. Like happier videos, thank you. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for, I guess, understanding why I wanted to make this video. I don't know how to end this video. Goodbye. I shall see you in the next video.